What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be taking a look at a series here between Liquid's Jinro and EG's IdrA. We are on the map Dual Site. We do have IdrA spawning over here in the far right-hand position as our red Zerg player, and then directly across the map in the far left-hand position is Liquid's Jinro as the blue Terran player. So yes, Terran versus Zerg, Jinro versus IdrA. First game in the series here on Dual Site. Taking a quick look around the map for those of you who may not be familiar, right outside of the main base, of course, we have got that natural expansion that is got a fairly wide open area, as you can see. We do have to worry about pushes from this angle as well as this angle. So as a player, you certainly have to make sure that you're paying attention to both areas there if you're worrying about any sort of surrounds or anything like that. Specific example, say Jinro pushes out and IdrA can move in for a surround and hit from multiple angles, and that's, again, certainly a major concern. So definitely something to keep an eye out. Now, besides that natural expansion, we do have the third, which is going to be pushed right on over here to the left-hand position. You also have a possible third in this position. And basically what you typically end up seeing is each player will kind of take their half of the map, essentially. So if we progress into the later stage of the game, Jinro would basically maintain control of this area of the map, this basically half section. And then, of course, IdrA would take this half of the map as well. All right, so back over here for IdrA right now, still hasn't done anything, and it looks like he may actually be going for 15 hatch. As we can see, saving up those resources now at about 200. He should be pulling it down a worker, and there it goes. So IdrA moving straight on down. Now back over here for Jinro. Jinro appears to be going fairly standard opener, starting off with that 10 depot and 12 racks, and then working his way up into that 13 refinery. Now we can see also IdrA just now scouting out, managing to make it right up into Jinro's base. Jinro not going for that early depot to try to block off, just going to be happy going with that normal 16 orbital command. So as you can see, that Rax is going to finish, go straight for that Marine, and right for that orbital command right away. So not trying to do anything sneaky. He isn't really too concerned if IdrA's inside of his base at this stage of the game. We can see finally coming out that second depot, and that will, of course, block in the drone. So right now, IdrA is kind of stuck inside of the main base, and he's going to have to deal with that Marine once it does pop out. You may be wondering, too, what's going on with the camera force. You're kind of doing a... I know normally I'm just kind of hopping back and forth with the mouse when I'm trying to keep track of everything. I decided to try using the mouse scroll here with a low sensitivity to try to make for a little bit more of a smooth following when we are following the action. So let me know what you guys think of that. And as you can see now, Jinro managing to take out that drone. Second Marine is up, and here comes that factory as well. So Jinro working his way right up into a factory immediately before any attachments or anything on that initial racks. Back over here, we can see that 15 hatch is just about finished. Looks like that SCV scout did manage to get on into IdrA's base and get a fair amount of information. He is going to be seeing the hatchery pop as well, and just kind of chilling out there for the moment. IdrA continuing up mining over there, getting some decent saturation at that natural expansion, and looks like Jinro too will continue to work his way through the base. He just wants to keep up some consistent scouting. He is in fact looking to see if he can spot a roach warren or anything fancy like that. Now back over here, it does look like Jinro will be opening up with some Hellion play, using those Hellions for map control and going for an expansion. Look at that. A very popular open. Essentially what we will be seeing Jinro do is with what he currently has, he is just going to be, you know, getting that factory on the reactor, pumping out 2 to 4 Hellions, I expect. Could even possibly work up to a little bit of a stronger number, but you'll see a lot of times 2 to 4 Hellions that will allow him to get some map control, sit right outside of IdrA's base, and stop him from pushing out as Jinro moves into that expand. SCV trying to make it back up into the main to get some additional scouting. Unfortunately, not happening there. Look at that huge burst of lava coming up from there, and those Marines finally heading back, realizing they're not going to be able to do too much damage against the 2 queens, plus that spine crawler that's about to pop there for IdrA. IdrA also getting out a few Zerglings early on to make sure that he can defend himself against any additional possible pushes, and here comes that metabolic boost as well. Now back over here for Jinro, again, we can see that that command center is coming on through. He does finally have those 2 Hellions out and is going to be doing a switch immediately. So we take a look, he's just coming out with those 2 and then switching it up, and I'm assuming we're gonna be seeing a tech lab go down, and there it is. Actually, we'll be going straight on the tech lab and going for those blue flame Hellions. We can see that Infernal Predator coming out on the tech lab that was built on the racks. We will be seeing double Marines coming out of that racks with the reactor as well. And Jinro trying to get that map control as mentioned, just starting off with those 2, that third Hellion just about to pop, and here comes that starboard play. So we will be seeing a Marine Blue Flame Hellion push from Jinro. He may also try to drop with a medevac from that starport into IdrA's main, and that could certainly do a bit of damage. Right now, IdrA has just been macroing up. You can see droning up very hard. He's actually working up on his layer tech right now that has just started. And how many Zerglings do we have total right now? Just a total of 10 Zerglings here, and they are going to be Speedlings right now, and there we go. The metabolic boost now finished, and it looks like a couple Zerglings did manage to sneak by those Hellions. They will be doing some scouting right now. Those Zerglings heading straight for Jinro's base. Unfortunately, Jinro missed that, so they should be able to get a little bit of scouting done. Now we do have a lot of Marines and Hellions there, and that's enough to quickly take care of those two Zerglings. And then these Hellions will be pushing out with these Hellions as well. He will be trying to move from all angles. Needs to be careful. Almost getting surrounded there by those Zerglings, doing what they can right now to get a full surround on the Hellions. Hellions will be pushing back. We've got those two more Hellions over here on the mini-map heading back towards the main base, and again, not wanting to stop at all for fear of losing that Hellion. He manages to pull back home, is going to get that repair, and then that push will be coming very shortly. We can see that medevac almost finished right now out of that starport. We'll be switching back to the to getting that, actually the reactor right there on that factory, so even more Hellions will be coming out. We'll be continuing up that double Hellion production. We should be seeing some Marine upgrades coming out as well now that that tech lab is back on the barracks. Hellions now moving out across the map to try to maintain map control. They want to get rid of the vision here that IdrA currently has at the center of the map, and looks like they will be doing so quite easily. There we go, map control now going to Jinro. IdrA a little bit concerned about pushing in. Hopefully he noticed the blue flame on those Hellions, and he will know what to expect. We've got that Spire about 1/4 of the way finished right now. A ton more Zerglings coming out, a couple of Banelings moving in as well. Here comes the medevac moving into position. However, he does need some units inside of it to actually make this worthwhile, and we will be seeing actually 3 Hellions going into this medevac. So here comes the blue flame Hellion drop very shortly. Now will he be filling it up completely with 4 Hellions, or is he just going to try to move in with the 3? Looks like he will be moving in with the 3. Another great thing that he could do is try to hit that natural expansion at the same time as this drop comes. But here comes a drop right now. Jinro right into the main with those Hellions, and we'll be going straight for those resources. IdrA losing a few drones right there, getting lifted off, and here come the other Hellion attack over here at the natural expansion, and IdrA wasn't fully prepared for this, and he's going to be taking some pretty hefty damage there from those Hellions. Not sure where that other medevac ended up going. Actually there, the continuing up the drop harass over here, and the Hellions over at the natural expansion continuing to do work, killing off quite a few. And this medevac very close to getting dropped, and does IdrA get it? No, Jinro manages to sneak away with that. Couple more over here. We also have a Viking moving across the map to try to deal with some overlords, getting a few kills there. Very nice aggression there by Jinro. Look at that, killing off a total of 13 workers. Fantastic attack by Jinro, and I'm assuming we've got some sort of a follow-up planned. Looks like it will be Marine heavy. We do have some additional Hellions coming out, and we'll be seeing another reactor on the starport, and here's another Rax and another Rax. So a very strong Marine Hellion continued push here is what Jinro is planning. He's going to be doing a second follow-up, very strong push. Vikings still getting more kills. This is going to be Overlord kill number 2. Now we finally have IdrA coming out. Oh, tried the drop again. That got taken care of relatively quickly. We can see IdrA was forced to pull guys off the line. He managed to kill off actually quite a few more workers. Initially was at 13 kills, now at 18 workers killed. Now IdrA preparing for that counterattack. We can see Mute is moving across the map as well as those Speedlings, so he is really wanting to do some damage right now, most definitely. Moving across the map with the bulk of his forces. He's planning to hit pretty hard. Does move in with that scouting Zergling to try to get a little bit of information to spot out exactly what Jinro has for defense. Hellion scouting out IdrA's 3rd. The Mute is finally able to mop that up. A few more Mutas over here, so IdrA is preparing to push out again with that counterattack. We've got no more continued aggression coming from Jinro at the moment. He doesn't have any more dropping or anything in the works, at least as of right now. Just a little bit concerned about defending himself. We can see that nice wall off there, plus that bunker filled with Marines. A couple of Hellions. Need to be careful though, because here come the Mutas. IdrA with the counterattack will be trying to do as much damage as possible. We've got one Viking trying to take a couple of pop shots there. Unfortunately there, Jinro was forced to cancel that off. Pushing forward with those Mutas. Needs to be careful though. Lots and lots of Marines here, and that's a little bit scary. Not until he pushes in with those Zerglings, he's going to be able to actually effectively deal with that. And it looks like there's just one Hellion scouting out over there. Again, Mutas continue to try to do what they can. Manage to snipe down that one Viking. We got 2 missile turrets up over here, though. Few idle SCVs for Jinro, so hopefully he gets those into play. Again, but these Mutas just continue to dance back and forth and take advantage of kind of this weak angle here. Jinro trying to bolster that up, that defense up, though, with a few Marines. He's got a ton more Marines coming down as well. And unfortunately, it looks like IdrA is forced to push back right now, deciding not to engage. Really surprised that, okay, well, I was going to say I'm surprised he's not trying to push in from this angle, but as we can see, Jinro seems amply prepared. Lots and lots of missile turrets there, so he's going to actually be doing pretty well. IdrA's 3rd expansion is finally up right now, bringing down a Queen to inject larva and transferring over some drones, and here comes an engagement. Stim Marines pushing back all of IdrA's Mutas. That's just way too dangerous right now for IdrA to engage here. Just far too many Marines. He needs to be very, very careful about walking into that one there. It's a little battle here between the Zergling and the Marine as to who's going to get control of that question mark Zelnaga tower. And here we go, IdrA moving down, taking care of the Marine, giving control to that Zergling. Jinro, I really want to see some continued dropping obviously very hard when there are mutas on the board, but you know, mutas can't be all places at all times, so you might be able to sneak one around. You just need to be careful though, because it looks like those mutas are trying to push up the backside here, trying to snipe down a few of those Hellions. Unfortunately, not able to get up on them. So both players right now just kind of dancing back and forth in the middle of the map. We haven't seen that big engagement yet. Jinro trying to get a little bit of map control and actually force back with those Hellions. Will be pulling back home. He should be able to stay out of range there of those Mutalisks. Jinro hasn't really done any attacks against IdrA, so IdrA's been pretty safe to mine up for the past couple of minutes now. We take a look, total resources lost. They are about even, with Jinro being slightly behind right now. He's pumping out a lot more Marines, and he's just keeping up this Marine Hellion build, not going off for siege tanks. So the whole idea here is, of course, those Marines will be used to snipe those mutas out of the sky, and the Hellions ideally will be taking care of those Speedlings and Banelings. This is a very micro-intensive type of push, though. It's not as easy as setting up siege lines and just slowly pushing forward. He's really got to focus on the micro, because those Hellions need to focus down those Banelings, and he needs to keep those Marines away from those Speedlings and Banelings as well. And here we go, Stim Marines moving up onto that third expansion. IdrA is preparing to try to get that sandwich. You know, I mentioned prior, we got to really worry about those multiple angles, because there's so many different open pathways on this map. It's really something he's got to pay attention to. Where are those Speedlings and Banelings, and where are they trying to engage me? That's really the major question there for Jinro. Jinro, again, trying to maintain control of the center of the map with these two Hellions. He should be spotting the forces coming. IdrA vying for control of the center himself with those Mutalisks, trying to just quickly dispatch of any of those Hellions that may be sitting there. 3 Hellions over here and a medevac, and Jinro is preparing another drop. Absolutely beautiful. At the same time, moving into his third expansion. Muta's trying to push down, and that actually might be able to quickly snipe this out before Jinro can get those turrets up. But where's that medevac? There it is. So here come those blue flame Hellions. Muta's forcing the cancel of both of those turrets and trying to engage that command center right now. Blue flame Hellions dropping down, doing a little bit of damage, but forced to get lift off before they can really do much else, and didn't really get many worker kills from that. We do have a couple more Hellions moving to the backside over here, and Jinro again just trying to hit from multiple angles. Muta's forced back right now. Hellions doing a little bit of damage, getting a few more workers killed, now sitting at 22, trying to get a couple more, but we have those Mutas coming back to try to engage with that. Scan going down for Jinro at the center of the map. That's going to allow him to take out those creep tumors, and IdrA finally able to take care of those Hellions. We'll be able to go back to mining shortly. Marines need to be very wary about running into that large Speedling Baneling Muta force, because he just does not have all of his forces together there. Few Stim Marines will be moving down and taking out this expansion, hopefully forcing the cancel. We'll be seeing IdrA pull on over to try to deal with that as quickly as possible. Mutas and Speedlings moving down. They will be getting a full surround right now on those Marines, and see you later to Jinro's Marines. Now he did a bit of damage, so once he pushes in with another attack, it's going to be quite weak, and hopefully he'll be able to do a bunch of damage. But look at so many Mutas here for IdrA. Sitting at 38 right now, and this is a very scary force moving straight into Jinro's base, and watch this, tearing through these depots. We'll be trying to force that supply block. A couple of Stim Marines, though, again, scary enough, even with 40 Mutalisks. What is the total number right now? So yeah, just the 38, but still, Stim Marines are still scary, but honestly, I mean, he's got so many right now. Moving down with those Speedlings as we see Jinro push across the map with those Marines, and again, there are just so many Mutas that was not enough Marines to deal with it, and IdrA's in a position to do a lot of damage right now. He's very easily taking care of this small amount of Marines that consistently are trying to engage him. This is forcing Jinro back to the main base, and this is scary. IdrA doing so much damage. We've got a burning depot about to explode. There are just so many Mutas. IdrA has really reached that critical mass. However, with this large amount of Stim Marines plus those medevacs, that will be enough to scare off IdrA there. But well done there by IdrA. That was a very nicely timed attack. He waited until he had just enough Mutas to just tear through anything but a huge amount of Marines. And knowing that the Marines were busy defending his third expansion, that was exactly why IdrA decided to push on the main at that point in time. Take a look over here at the resources lost. We can see Jinro quite a bit behind. We've got some Ravens and some Seeker Missiles coming out. Seeker Missiles very strong against these light units once they are bunched up, so if he could get that off, that'd be absolutely devastating. Muta's trying to engage right now at this expansion. We've got Jinro doing his best to defend. A couple of Speedlings and Banelings looks like they are prepared to engage right now, so IdrA moving straight to this expansion, doing what he can for damage. He's just tearing through those SCVs. So many workers killed right now. IdrA is now ahead, killing off a total of 36 SCVs as opposed to what Jinro's managed to kill kill off this game, so Jinro losing quite a bit there between the hit that he took at the main and the hit that he did take as well at this third expansion. IdrA also just staged up right outside of Jinro's third expansion. He's just waiting for the time to push in. IdrA continuing up this mass expand. He's right now going to be moving into his fifth expansion. Very nice creep spread going on as well, trying to keep up these upgrades. We got some hive tech coming out. He's sitting at 1-2 right now, and what has Jinro got? Jinro's at 2-2. No upgrades for his mech, and here we go. Lots of Ravens. Get ready for those points. Oh my gosh, the Seeker missiles going straight to the Mutas, and IdrA looks like he will escape it, but a big concern for Jinro is he has lost his third. You can take a look on the minimap. It is not there. The Mutas managed to escape those Seeker missiles, and that was a big problem. Jinro really wanted to hit with those. Didn't end up working out for him. He is pushing right now onto this fourth expansion. It looks like he will drop it with those Stim Marines. Continuing up the push over here. Banelight's trying to roll forward. We got a couple more Seeker missiles, and they do manage to do a bit of damage to those Mutas, but there are so many Mutas, and he's got a very nice spread to try to prevent that splash damage from being too devastating. Getting a full surround on the forces, and IdrA mopping up everything that Jinro had in the center of the map. Very nice response there. Now, we did see IdrA manage to lose that fourth expansion, but again, Jinro losing his third over there is now down to just the one mining base. His main is pretty much completely mined out at this point in time. IdrA still sitting with a strong force, will be keeping up the aggression. He's also got 13 more Mutas coming out, and this is not looking good at all for Jinro. Here we go, IdrA mopping up, and Jinro forced to call the GG. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here between IdrA and Jinro. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.